Hello, welcome back to Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger. The date is May 14, 2024. Quick announcement, tomorrow I will be at the art opening for the Future Vivid Art Show here in Vancouver at the Gathering Place Community Center from 5:30 to 7 p.m. So those any local friends who want to come and say hi and check out some artwork, tomorrow I will be there. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. So today we are going to look at um, technically speaking, a defensive maneuver, but I'm going to show you guys how to turn it into a decently offensive maneuver as well. And this is a basic move that a lot of MMA people you would be familiar with this because you're taught to do this at an early stage of your MMA career. Okay, what I'm going to be showing you is how to do the Rhino block, the Rhino maneuver, and then the Rhino charge. Like I said, it's a maneuver that can be both defensive and offensive. But even though it is a very simple, very basic maneuver, when you look at it, you can instantly sort of figure out how this works. A lot of people can't do it well, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a pointer on how to get the most out of this. Um, and then we are going to talk about the pros and cons of the Rhino charge, Rhino maneuver, because this is actually one of those maneuvers that, strictly speaking, is more effective in the ring and when you're sparring, when you're doing sport fighting, than actually survival scenario. I'm not saying that it's not good for survival scenario. I'm just going to say that if you count on this as your number one trick, then you may find yourself overmatched sometime on the street because this, while it is very effective in the arena, in the cage. On street level, this is not a very safe move for you guys. Okay, of course, it all depends on your skill level and the skill level of whoever you are coming across. It is, as I mentioned before, a bad idea to assume that whoever you fight is going to be inferior to you in size, skill, or whatever, right? If there are people out there walking around like Johnny Tiger, who doesn't look very threatening, who's just a blind, middle-aged guy, but this guy might actually have 30 or 40 years of fighting experience. Yeah, it's a sobering thought. Like anyone that you get into a fight with might be that scary. Okay, so what is the Rhino maneuver? Rhino maneuver is for when the other person come in and is throwing those big punches, right? Big hook overhead, hook to the head, the big punch to the head, and you are beating rock back on your heel, and you're trying to not retreat, but all you can do is try to cover up. Right? This is when the Rhino maneuver become very useful. First, don't count on those karate karate blocks, taekwondo blocks. They will not save you when you are up against someone this big and they're swinging full force trying to hurt you. Okay, when you put your arm up like this, like a karate guy, a taekwondo guy, this out, out, down like this, not going to save you. Okay, when the guy come in, they're big and strong, they come in full force, and you put your hand up like this, boom, you're going to hit yourself in the face with your own arm, right? I have demonstrated this again and again and again in the studio, in dojos. When I teach people, a lot of these are young kids, they get their black belt in Taekwondo when they're 6 years old, and now they're 15. They think they got a black belt when they were 6. So now they know how to fight. So when you spar with them, they try to do this karate block, taekwondo block. And I always tell them, you need to get that out of your system because you get into a real fight, that is going to get you hurt really bad. And a lot of them don't believe me until I say, okay, I am going to tell you. I'm telling you this so you know it's coming. I'm going to throw a big right hook to your head. Okay, that's it. Nothing quick, nothing sneaky. Big right hook to your head. Do your karate block or taekwondo block. And if you can block it, then okay, that tell me you're really, really good. Okay, but I'll bet most of the time you are not going to be able to block it, even when I already told you that I'm going to throw that exact angle, exact hook, right? And yes, most of them cannot stop that. Even the ones that are strong, when they put their arm up and throw that big hook, it will drive their own arm right into their face. So when someone comes at you, swinging, 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 the rhino maneuver becomes useful. What you do is you take your hand, either hand. So I'm going to use my right hand, so because you guys can see this. I'm going to put my right hand right behind my head. So this will make sure my elbow is anchored. My elbow is blocking the side of my face. So this big hook coming in, oh, it does. It hit me on the elbow, probably breaks their own hand in the process. Okay, that's half of a rhino. Okay, your hand go to the back of your head, your elbow shield the side of your face, and because of the way human body is built, okay, when you get into this pose, no matter how hard they hit you, your arm will not rebound into your face because there's nowhere for your elbow to go. Your body is kind of shaped that way. It's a body mechanics thing. Okay? You're not using your muscle to stop their punches. You're just anchoring your arm in place. So now, no matter how hard they hit you, they're not going to get through that. The other half of the rhino is you take your other hand. So we got this half, the right hand, go up behind my head, and the right uh, elbow shielding side of my face. I take my left hand and put it on top of my head. So now my left forearm and elbow is shielding the front of my face, right? So this way, if they try to come straight in, I can close my elbow so they can't get through. If they try to go the other side, I can just turn a little bit, a tiny 20-degree turn. They'll hit my forearm. Okay, so I'm really well defended. While this leaves most of you, those of you that rely on eyesight, this will let you peek out between your elbow. You can still see them. Okay, for a blind person, it's not so important because we don't need to see them in the first place. Okay, but for you guys, this is very useful. You're essentially generating a helmet around your head with your forearm and elbow. And because you have your hand anchored on your head, it's not going to rebound and hit you. Okay, it's very hard for them to break through that. Almost impossible. So, um, now that we looked at what a rhino is, let me show you guys the Rhino charge because it's a very good way to counter attack without having to, like a lot of time, and there's nothing wrong with this. A lot of time when people go into Rhino, they'll take a few hit, right? Take a few hit on their arm, and then they'll bring their arm out and go on the offensive. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Like I do that myself. But so if that is what you're comfortable with, that's fine. To break out of the rhino and go into other stuff, like you take a few hits from the rhino, And then when you get that opening, you go in and grab them by the head and knee, right? That's fine. These are okay. However, the Rhino charge I'm about to show you doesn't require you to put down your guard. So that is one benefit about the Rhino charge is you can do it without lowering your defense. What is the Rhino charge? When I'm going to just like do this side because when I put this side up, I can barely hear myself talk, and I think it's going to sound really muffled. So I'm just going to do the side toward the camera. Right? I going to Rhino the person hitting, hitting, hitting. When I get in range, because while they're hitting, I'm not going to just stand here, let them hit me. Every time they hit me, I'm shuffling forward. I'm shuffling forward. When I get in range, I'm going to lunge forward and press this elbow right into their chest. Okay, guys, don't underestimate that one. Okay, if you do it with your partner and you hold the pad against your chest and let your partner do it, you'll realize that even through a thick pad, this hurts like a motherfucker. Okay, this hurts a lot. Like getting hit by this one without pad on is debilitating. It's perhaps seriously injuring. Like it can lead to some serious injury, especially if you get them right on the collarbone or in the middle of the chest or the throat or the chin. Okay, this one is highly damaging, very effective. No question about that. Right? However, a lot of people can't do this one well because what happened is a lot of people they when they're ready to do the rhino, they step back into a lunge position and then they throw themselves forward. Okay, that is not how rhino is done. The rhino charge, yeah, that's not how it's done. It's not supposed to be from your lunge and then throwing yourself forward like a torpedo. The rhino all come from the twist at the hip and the uncoil of the midsection. In other words, the rhino, the power for the rhino, is not generated from momentum, but it's generated from torque, from the rotational force of your body. Okay, so rather than stepping back, telegraphing myself, and then shooting myself forward into the target, now this is okay when it's a standing target, it's not going anywhere. But if you're fighting someone who can see this coming, you're not going to get them, right? So proper way to do Rhino is you get closer, closer, closer. Try to get close to them while they're pounding. Try to get you on the head. You get in, and then when you're ready to do the rhino, you're almost like you're sitting down in a chair. Okay, you do this little sitting down motion. Okay, see my body go down. This is like coiling a spring. Okay, you do a quick like a half squat. Okay, and then once you get there, boom, okay? No lunging, just where you are, squat, boom, squat, boom, right? It's really quick and hits very hard. Now let's look at the pros and cons of the Rhino. The pros, obviously, number one, hits extremely hard. It's a nice elbow maneuver that can cost massive amount of damage. Like I said, even through a 2 or 3 inch pad, it's going to hurt a lot when the person does it right. Number two, it allows you to attack straight from defensive maneuver. You don't have to break guard. You don't have to let your hand down. Okay, so you can put up your rhino and advance, and you can just fight from that position, basically. So it's a maneuver that it's relatively safe. Uh, that you can protect your head the whole time. Uh, and number three is a quick, very quick move. When you do it right, when you don't do that little lunge thing, right? When you know how to generate torque, uh, power from your core, from your body, this is a very quick hit. Now, those are the pros. Obviously, there's going to be some cons, and unfortunately, when it comes to the Rhino, the cons are really big as well. This is why I say this is not exactly a move that you want to employ on the street. Number one is if you go into Rhino on the street and you run into someone who knows a bit of what they're doing, right? They don't even need to be super good. They just need to be logical. They just need to be smart. Right? You go into Rhino, you put up your arm around your head, you got your other arm about your head, you're covering up. I'm just going to punch you in the dick, right? If we are in a street fight, I'm just going to kick you in the groin. I'm just going to punch you in the groin because there's no way you're going to be able to defend that. Your hands way up there. You can barely see what's going on. Okay, it sacrifices a lot of visual cues. Definitely takes away a lot of the peripheral vision. So it's a maneuver that doesn't lend itself well to dirty fighting. Okay, if the person is going to hit you down low, Rhino is a lousy thing to do. Number two, the Rhino charge, while it is vicious and it can be done quick, it requires close distance, right? So if the person hits you and back away, hits you and back away, you are going to be following them all day before you can get in range for that Rhino charge. Otherwise, all you do is take hits. You're going to become a bit of a punching bag for a little bit. Right? So your only hope for that to be really effective is to get in close. Now, some people say, no, I can do it from here. No, that's silly, right? If you do it from that distance, what is going to happen is you overextend yourself. Look how far my shoulder and my upper body come in front of my feet. Okay, this is a no-no in any kind of fight because if you miss, the person all they have to do is push you on your shoulder and down you go. You go down right to the ground. Okay, so Rhino uh, has great potential, but only at close distance. If you're too far away and you miss your cue, you go into it too early, you end up overextending the hell out of yourself, and most likely you will be kissing the ground. Number three, and this is uh, the worst because I've done this to a lot of people who try to use the Rhino maneuver when we spar or stuff like that. Okay, the moment you start to crowd me, you put your arm up and you start to crowd in. I know that you're going to pull a Rhino. All I have to do is shuffle to the side, grab the back of your neck, boom, knee right into the guts. Okay, your whole body is not defended. Your guts, your chest, everything is not defended. Your whole focus is up here by the head. And you are just a nice little lamppost for me to step around and grab you or circle behind you and get you into a chokehold. Okay? You run into any kind of grappler, then Rhino is going to be your doom, right? You cannot fight a grappler from the Rhino position. It's just going to give them all kind of opening. So while it has great potentials, a lot of pros, it also have a lot of cons that can really uh, get you into some deep trouble on the street. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is for the basic Rhino maneuver, blocking, charging, pros and cons. Hope you guys liked today's video. Tomorrow, because of the art show, I don't know if I'll get around to Wisdom Wednesday. If I do, I do. If I don't, I'll see you guys Thursday. Hopefully, I'll see some of you there.